Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can see from the title, this is going to be a back to school glam. And when I say back to school glam, I mean we are grabbing on to every piece of summer we have left. We're going glossy on the lips, we're going bronzy on the skin, we're going golden and glowy, soft and neutral on the eyes. Like, to me, this is the way you want to go to school if you want to tell all of your friends, I just spent the past month in Santorini, I was on the beach, and don't talk to me. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload twice a week, and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So starting off with my Silk Canvas Primer, I'm going to take a little bit of this into basically everywhere where I feel like I have pores. The reason I like this is, first off, it is a fantastic primer if you just want to kind of set everything down and make it look smooth. And second, because it has such skincare properties, it's really good at giving you a nice barrier throughout the day so that, you know, where your skin starts and the makeup starts, there's a nice little barrier. For foundation today, I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Born This Way. I'm in the shade Natural Beige, and it's a little dark, but trust me, it's going to turn out fine. I'm going to take a little bit of this on that same paddle brush from ColourPop that I used for my primer, and I'm just going to kind of distribute that everywhere. Now, the reason why I've been using this foundation lately is it's not so much of a matte finish. Don't get me wrong, it's not luminous, it's not dewy, but it's definitely natural, and full glam is great for evening, full glam is great for when you're really going in, or you have a party, or soft lighting. But if you're going to school, you want to look like a human being. So because of that, we want to go in with something that is still full coverage, but it's going to make you look a little bit more healthy. And I did go a little bit darker, because after all of my powders and everything, this is going to end up looking really good. And the reason I'm taking a beauty blender, which lately, if you've been watching my videos lately, I've been really favoring a makeup brush, like a foundation brush. Typically, I've been using the Sigma F80. However, lately, I've noticed when I really want to like get such a smooth, natural finish, I prefer the beauty blender, because the little bit of water that it puts into the product makes it sit a little bit more natural on the skin. But also, it just kind of helps press it into the skin, make it last all day long, and it really helps to eliminate any of those issues that you might run into with things looking too cakey, too full coverage, or, you know, too dry. Adding that moisture really helps to make that natural finish more natural. Can you see why I'm loving this foundation? Like, it just makes everything look so seamless. And I might actually take back saying it's too dark. It might be a perfect match. I just go in really light with my foundation lately, I guess. For concealer, I'm going to be going in also with the Born This Way concealer. This is the newer one, and I'm in the shade Porcelain. Now, the best way to use this concealer, because a little does go a long way, this is not evening makeup. This is not like so full glam that you want a super bright under eye. You just want to add a little bit of this down the sides of the nose, and then just spread the product that's already there. And I am going to use a beauty sponge to blend this out, because again, that's just going to help you get a little bit less coverage, and it's going to help just to make this look perfect without it looking overboard. And I know that this product is, it literally says right there, super coverage, but there's ways to use it so that it still looks natural and wearable, and it doesn't go super over the top. Now, you will notice that I didn't put any down the side of my nose. The reason for that is I'm just going to take whatever is on the sponge and just add a little bit down the nose. And the reason for that, when you're doing something for school, or fluorescent lighting, or overhead lighting, nothing gives away your face and makes it super clockable more than overhead fluorescent lighting and a harsh contour. So typically when I go in with something like this, I'm going to go a little bit lighter on my nose contour. I'm going to go a little bit less significant on my brightening. When you go in with creams, just as a general rule of thumb, creams make things look more intense. So I have been loving the Maybelline Fit Me powders lately. I'm going to be taking number 10 Light on my under eyes, and I'm going to be taking 15 and dusting that pretty much everywhere else. So I'm gonna take light on the sponge, and I'm just going to press that anywhere we put that concealer, because this is going to serve as our brightening powder. And then working out of the cap with my number 15, I'm just gonna take this and use it to set pretty much everywhere else. So then grabbing any fluffy under eye brush, I'm just gonna kick off and buff in any of that extra powder. And now by going in with the shades I used and by using the powders I used, I already have a little bit of a brightness going on, so I can actually tone down my contour a little bit. Now for bronzer and contour today, I'm going to be going in with my Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. And I'm going to be taking that on that same large brush, and the reason for that is I definitely want my bronzer to be a little bit more, you know how when you go in with a super sharp, concentrated bronzer, it just kind of makes everything look a little bit more snatched? We don't want snatched today. We want today for everything to look very natural, a little bronzy, like my summer vacation was great. I spent it in Santorini, and my life is better than yours, even if you worked indoors the entire time. And then to contour on a flat angled brush like this, I'm gonna take the same shade, but instead of feathering it, I'm just going to really tightly focus it right under the cheekbone. And by using the same shade, it's gonna make the whole thing look a little bit more natural, and it's just gonna accentuate the cheekbones a little bit more. Now this doesn't look over the top, this doesn't look crazy. If it does, you can always take your powder brush and just blend in small circular motions a little bit better. But overall, like, this is natural and seamless, and you're ready for blush. Now, even when I am going natural, I always like to glow. So I'm gonna be taking Milani's Luminoso Baked Blush, because this does have a little bit of a soft sheen to it. I'm gonna take it on that same brush, and I'm gonna put just enough so that the brushes look tinted, and I'm going to just focus that in circular motions on the apples of the cheeks. And I am gonna take that over the whole contour area, and you'll see just in this, that little rosiness is just so natural, and honestly, blush is coming back so hardcore. It is so in right now, and there are certain things you can get away with putting a lot on. I think eyeliner, I think highlighter, and I think blush are those things that nobody looks at you and says, oh my god, you're wearing so much blush. I mean, they do, but if they are not supportive, and you don't need that negativity in your life. Foundation people clock, powders, cloudiness, any of that like powdery cakiness, people will read you for. But a nice rosy cheek, a soft blush, no one's gonna say anything, and if they do, they are wrong. Now again, if you think you went in a little overboard, soft circular motions with that powder brush is just gonna help everything. And you wanna make sure on both sides, buff up in a circular motion and go up. If you brush down, it's just gonna drag your face down, and you want to elevate all of your cheekbones. Now at this point, if you want to brighten the under eye a little bit more, you can go in with your Kat Von D powders. You could take the Essence Brighten Up powder. You could take any like lighter powder, but I'm actually really happy with how this is looking, so I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to move on to eyes. Now I am priming my eyes with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot like I always do, because this is just really good at canceling out my redness and lasting all day without creasing. The biggest thing that I think is important if you're doing a makeup look for back to school is you want to look good, you want to look flawless, but you do not want to look like you're trying too hard. So like, I don't love the idea of super vibrant colors when you are doing a look for school in the morning. So I'm going to take a little bit, this is the Rimmel Stay Matte, you can use any powder you want, and I'm just going to set down that eye primer, because I do want this to be a soft look. Using a wet or a tacky primer is great if you want a lot of pigment payoff, but I don't. I kind of want to make this very soft. So for the look today, I will be dipping into the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop Zodiac palette, but I will be focusing very heavily on the, I'm gonna call them wearable shades, but really like the neutral shades. So starting off with a fluffy crease brush, I'm gonna dip into the Libra, which is this shade right here. And I'm just going to use this to define the crease. Once your crease is defined, going into a flat synthetic brush, that could be your Morphe M433, that could be a MAC 217. I'm gonna go into the Taurus right here, which is a cool toned brown. And in small circular motions, I'm just going to use this to build up the outer portion of the crease. And I am going to gently bring that towards about here, the center of the lid. And what that's gonna do is it's just going to make your eyes look bigger, and it's gonna play with the shape, because my eyes are a little hooded, so when I go in with a shadow like this, it just makes everything look a little bit more intentional, and it makes my eyes look upturned as opposed to downturned, which just makes me look tired. And then with whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to blend that towards the inner corner. We're not gonna take it all the way in, but we're gonna do it just enough so that it helps to build the roundness of the eye. Now for the lid shade, I'm gonna be taking the Cancer right here, which is I have to use the right side of the brush, which is a very pretty neutral shimmer. And I'm just going to gently put that onto the lid. And I am gonna take it dry. And the reason for this is I wanna have a soft sheen to the lid, but I really want to avoid this turning into a super glam look. Keep in mind, this is like back to school. If you want to be full glam and do lashes and glitter, you can totally intensify this a bit. But for the regular everyday, you want to show up and look the best, but you don't want to look like you're doing the most to get there. So like this is soft and natural. And again, like what I love about these is if I go in with my finger, see how much more intense you can build these up to? So I'm actually going to take that brush and just blend that down a little bit because I do want it to be a little more on the natural side. And the easiest part is I'm just gonna go into that Taurus shade again, and I'm gonna run that all the way on the lower lash line. Then on that same pencil brush, I'm gonna take a little bit of the Virgo right here, the deep brown, and I'm gonna run that quite close to the lower lash line and only on the outer portion of the eye. And that's just gonna kind of smoke everything out a little bit more. And with that same brush, I'm just going to kind of trace that deep brown into the upper crease, just so that this connects to this. Nothing upsets me more than when you spend all of this time on your eyeshadow, you go into the lower lash line, you put a color down, and there's a disconnect. I want whatever color is here to kind of play into what goes on the lower lash line. At this point, we're gonna take a little bit of setting spray and just take down all of this powderiness on the face. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes and throw on mascara off camera. I'll be taking my L'Oreal Voluminous Superstar X Fiber Mascara. The reason for that is I don't like playing around with falsies. If you're going back to school, nothing is worse than your falsies lifting up, having to go to the bathroom to fix your glue. I would go in with a nice fiber mascara, really build up your lashes, but let it be your lashes. That way you don't have to deal with like falsies all day long. I love wearing falsies. I'll wear them out. I'll wear them to events. I will wear them for a full day. It's great, but nothing is worse than when you have that little itch right here or something is wrong with them. I won't risk it, especially not on the first day of school. So I'm gonna go curl my lashes and throw on my mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did want to address this because I did get a few comments in some videos recently about why I don't do lower mascara. I just don't like how it looks on me. My lower lashes are kind of sparse and a little pathetic. So I love my lashes. I'm really happy with how it looks without falsies, but I'm still not gonna be putting anything on my lower lashes anytime soon. Now, the second place where the jury is out as far as less is more and all that is on your glow. I think you can glow as much as you want whenever you want, so I am gonna go in with a bold highlighter choice today. But if you don't and you wanna kinda have this soft sheen to the skin and have the luminous blush be it, you totally can. I'm not going to. So I'm gonna grab the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter because this is one of my favorite golden hued highlighters. And I love that you can sheer it out, you can build it up, and most importantly, because it has that gold undertone, it's just gonna help with the, I just came back from Greece and I was in Santorini all month and I'm better than you vibes that you're trying to give your friends. Like, nobody wants to come back from summer vacation with a cool toned highlight saying, you know, I spent my life in fluorescent lights and you definitely had more fun than me. So this is the start to the glow. I definitely love how this one builds up. So instead of going in with a topping highlighter, I'm just gonna load my brush up with more of this one and I'm just gonna focus it on the lower cheekbone. And that's it. I'm not gonna go in with 9 highlighters, I'm just gonna take 2, but by blending them at different intensities, I'm gonna get that really high point bam that I love. Okay, so now I'm going to add just a touch of this to the inner corner. And I always do that no matter what kind of look it is. Daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. I think that a really bright inner corner is just one of the most beautiful things you can add to tie any look together. If you don't like that, you don't need to do it, but I just think it opens the eyes, it makes everything look better. Like that, I think, is the biggest tip that I can give you if you want to look more alive, is just a really pretty inner corner highlight. And now to finish it off with lips. We all know I love glosses. We know glosses are what I like to wear, no matter what. Like, I do love a nice gloss, especially in that summertime, so it's also easier to apply. You know, if you want to throw on a quick little gloss and touch it up, it's so much easier than going with a full-on lipstick. So I'm going to be taking Celeste from Buxom, which is the past month. This will be going in my favorites video. Spoiler alert, this is my new favorite gloss. I think the formula is beautiful. It smells fantastic. And do you want to see the, like, sparkle payoff? Just watch. No, you know what? I'm zooming you in for this. Now tell me that is not the most beautiful gloss you have ever seen. And the best part is, it is tingling, it is slightly plumping, and this micro sparkle just makes everything look, oh. I cannot say enough good things about this. If you want to hear more good things about it, spoiler alert, stay tuned for my favorites video because it is going to be in there and you're going to love it. And last thing, one more time, is we're just going to set everything in place. And this is a finished look, so I hope you enjoyed my back to school glam. No one's gonna give you a hard time with this. No one's gonna assign you homework. You're not gonna have any reading. You're not gonna have to pair up with anybody. You are literally gonna walk in and say, I am still on summer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.